Tesla's secret failed. The world crumbled. Your only escape, a train through hell. Winter, 1895. Snow falls outside Tesla's remote lab. A carriage arrives. A man steps out holding a sealed letter. Red wax, a government symbol. Inside, a contract. Create a weapon to end all wars. Tesla hesitates, then signs. That night, he begins the first vial of Agent 15. Winter, 1896. Heavy wagons arrive at Fort Constitution. Soldiers unload large steel barrels, each one marked Agent 15. They roll them deep into a locked underground vault. Guards watch in silence. No one speaks. The air feels wrong. Something doesn't belong. The barrels stay quiet, but not for long. February 1898. Captain Prescott receives a sealed military order. He is to escort barrels of Agent 15 aboard the USS Maine. At dawn, the barrels are loaded under heavy guard. The crew is uneasy. Prescott says nothing. He salutes, and the ship departs into the unknown. Deep inside the USS Maine, one of the Agent 15 barrels begins to hiss. A thin stream of green mist leaks from a crack. A curious soldier leans closer. Too close. He inhales. His eyes widen. His hands shake. And then, he collapses to the floor. Havana Harbor, midnight. Without warning, the USS Maine erupts in fire and steel. A deafening blast splits the night sky. Flames engulf the deck. Sailors scream, barrels rupture, and chaos reigns. Within minutes, the great ship slips beneath the waves. The water is silent once more. Captain Prescott's hands tremble as he writes his final log. "I fear I've been exposed to Agent 15, he whispers. Sweat drips. His vision blurs. Suddenly he collapses, pen rolling from his hand. The journal ends mid-sentence. Silence returns to the captain's quarters. San Antonio, 1898. A young doctor notes something strange. Fever, yellowed eyes, violent coughing, all spreading through the streets. Locals call it the Texas grippe. No cure, no pattern, just fear. Behind closed doors, they whisper. This started with the USS Maine. June 21st. The streets of San Antonio erupt. Shouts, gunfire, broken glass. Stores are looted. 6 civilians attack at random, eyes glowing, blood-stained clothes. This isn't a fever anymore. It's something else. Agent 15 has changed. As chaos spreads, the government declares martial law. Soldiers patrol the streets of major cities. Curfews are enforced. Checkpoints rise overnight. But it's too late. The infection is faster than their orders. People vanish. Families are torn apart. And the once safe streets now echo with fear and silence. Hope arrives from the south. Mexico announces a cure. Vials are shipped. Crowds cheer. But the relief is short-lived. In some, it works. In others, it accelerates the symptoms. Confusion spreads faster than the virus. Doctors argue. Tensions rise. And once again, fear returns, stronger than before. The virus has changed. At first, it spread by touch. But now, it rides the wind. Birds fall from the sky. Animals turn hostile. The air itself has become the enemy. No one is safe. Not in their homes. Not in the fields. Not even underground. This is no longer a plague. It's a storm. And Agent 15 is everywhere. Fort Constitution is silent. The gates hang open. Blood smears the walls. Weapons lie untouched. Their owners gone, or worse. Inside, flickering lights reveal claw marks, empty beds, and torn uniforms. No gunfire, no voices, just wind and the echo of what once was. The fort is lost. The southern lines are broken. Fort after fort, gone. The order is clear. Retreat north, through frozen rivers, abandoned towns, and forests filled with eyes. The soldiers march in silence, not out of fear, but because speaking might draw them closer. North is the last hope, but no one knows what waits there. With law and order gone, others rose to take their place. Not heroes, outlaws. They raided supply lines, ambushed stragglers, and ruled the roads like ghosts. In the snow, they moved swift and silent. Some were soldiers once. Now, just men with guns and nothing left to lose. In secret tunnels, the last engineers worked. Steel, steam, and silence. They built a train, armored, fast, and built for survival. No whistles, no lights, just the hum of engines and the pounding of hearts. When the cities fell, this was the only way out. A ghost train, bound for nowhere. The train runs on steam, but coal is running out. Each mile burns hope. The crew makes a choice, search or stop. Scavengers ride out at dawn, through frozen wastelands and broken towns. Every trip risks ambush. Every barrel is a gamble. And still, the engine must roar. Or everything stops. The train slows to a halt. No signs of life, just wind and dust. They step into a town frozen in time. Dishes still on tables, doors ajar, whispers in the silence. Every building tells a story, but some are better left unopened. They came for supplies, but something else was waiting. He found the house on day 4. The door creaked open. Inside, silence. A cold table, 2 chairs, a child's drawing on the wall, and on the bed, a letter. To my daughter, if you read this, I'm already gone. No bodies, no footprints, just snow and memory. The moon rose, full and blood-tinted. The wind stopped. And then, the howl. Not human, not animal. Something old. Footprints appeared near the canyon, claw marks on stone. The soldiers didn't sleep that night. They held their weapons, eyes locked on the hills, waiting, listening, praying it wouldn't return. The blood moon reached its peak. The wind died, and from the cliffs came silence. Then, eyes. Dozens of glowing red eyes. Not wolves, not men. They moved like shadows, climbing the canyon walls. The soldiers opened fire, but nothing fell. At first, the ocean was calm. Then came the pulse, a wave of light from the island lab. No alarms, no warnings, just silence. And then, hooves. Not of horses, but radiant creatures born of power. They shattered metal gates and vanished into the mist, heading straight for the shore. They followed the tracks into the highlands. At the edge of a cliff, it stood, a castle untouched by time. No birds, no wind, just stone and silence. Then the gates creaked open, not by hand. Inside, banners frozen midair, and armor, still warm. The curse was not broken. It was waiting. Behind the castle, buried in sand and stone, lay an entrance. Not to a cave, but to old mines. They stepped in, and the air turned cold. Rusted tools lined the walls. Helmets. Bones. Then came the sound. Metal scraping rock. They weren't alone. The miners had returned, but only their bones. And their tools remained. The tunnels went deeper than anyone expected. Dust clung to their lungs, the silence heavy as stone. Old crates, rusted weapons, and gold-encrusted blades lined the walls. Relics of a war no one remembered. They weren't alone down here. But whatever lived here was gone. Further in, a breeze, impossible in a closed mine. It led them to a wall, cracked and glowing faintly. They pushed through. Light poured in. A hidden exit. And outside, a village. Sterling, but not the Sterling from stories. This one was silent, still, and crawling with the dead. A rusted rail line, still intact. Their only chance, their only way out. They found it buried beneath layers of dust. A leather-bound journal, marked with Tesla's initials. Its pages were brittle, but the words burned with regret. I never meant for this to happen. One entry read. A warning was scribbled underneath. Do not reconstruct the mind. Deep inside the abandoned lab lies something that should never have survived. A glass jar floating in a dark fluid. Tesla's brain, still alive. His eyes, removed. His thoughts, still awake. He speaks through machines, and what he wants will be built. The lab comes alive. Wires spark. The table glows. One by one, pieces are assembled. Metal limbs, stone muscles, and the brain clicks into place. Tesla is returning. This is no longer science. It's resurrection. After 80 kilometers, the train screeches to a halt at the border with Mexico. But there is no welcome, only silence and a storm overhead. Before them rises Tesla's final lab, a crumbling brick fortress, crowned with a dead coil. Lightning crashes down. The lab awakens, and outside, footsteps echo. Tesla walks again. Tesla roars, lightning surging through his veins. The men open fire. Bullets spark off metal flesh. One charges with an axe, another throws dynamite. Tesla strikes back. Electric blasts hurl them through the dust. Screams, smoke, thunder. 4 minutes to end him, or be erased. The storm is over. Tesla's body lies shattered in the dust. The men cross the bridge into Mexico. Smoke fades behind them, but silence follows. No cheers, no relief, only doubt. Are they finally safe, or has something far worse crossed with them? Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more to come.